ladies and gentlemen. Today we gather to mark the first International Day of Reflection and Commemoration of the 1995 genocide in Srebrenica. For those who survived the genocide, it is a day to remember the lives lost, the families torn apart, and the enduring pain of a community that has suffered unimaginable horrors. First and foremost, I want to express my deepest gratitude to all those who contributed to the establishment of this important day. To the ambassadors and countries that co-sponsored and supported the resolution, thank you for your recognition and for standing with us in our quest for remembrance and pursuit of justice. Your commitment to honoring the victims and survivors of the Srebrenica Genocide is a testament to the principles of humanity and justice that the United Nations presents. My name is Almasa Salihovic, and I survived the genocide in Srebrenica. As I stand before you today, I carry the weight of my personal story, one that is both a part of me and a reflection of the countless others who lived through the darkness of war. I was 5 when the aggression against Bosnia and Herzegovina began. At the time, I was living with my mother and 4 older siblings, 2 brothers and 2 sisters, in our village, 25 kilometers from the town of Srebrenica. It was then, at the age of 5, that I first heard the sound of shells and saw what they can do. When I witnessed killing for the first time, we all thought that it would soon stop, but we were wrong. Even though my mother was eager to hide the truth from us children, my day started and ended filled with fear. My dreams were filled with nightmares. I didn't stop carrying my little doll with me wherever I was. That was a secret protected tool. On September 18th, 1992, a school in my village where people had taken shelter was struck by a shell fired from Serbia. 14 people were killed in the attack, including 4 children. At that point, we should have left the village, but despite unbearable conditions, decided to stay as long as possible. It was March 1993 when we had no choice but to flee, hoping to have escaped the worst possible scenario. Srebrenica, proclaimed as the UN safe area, was our only hope of shelter and safety. We reached the town at night on foot, and were fortunate enough to be given a room by our relatives. It was too small for the 6 of us, but it was warm and made us feel safe. Unfortunately, not for a long time. The horrors of life in Srebrenica enclave were beyond description, particularly in the brief time I have to speak to you today. We lived without basic necessities for human life, without enough food or water, and in constant fear that we or our loved ones would be killed in the next attack. On July 11th, 1995, our worst fears became a reality. I was 8 then, and my memories of that day are a mixture of confusion, terror, loss, and hopelessness. I held my mom's rope tightly while we were walking towards a small UN base in town, hoping we would be safe there. My older sister, Fatima, and brother Abdullah were ahead of us. We met at this base called Bravo Compound. That was the last time I saw my brother. I still have the image of him throwing away his notebook because it has some prayers in Arabic, and he was told it's better to throw it away. I pass that place every single day and hold on to that moment ever since. After we were told to go there, my family, like thousands of others, had sought shelter in Potosari, near the former battery factory that served as the UN base, where we believed we would be protected. My eldest brother and sister had already entered the base. The rest of my family, including myself, spent 2 days in front of the base, watching young men were hauled away by General Mladic soldiers and hearing the wails of their families. Then, on July 11th, we were forced onto a bus, running a long line of vehicles that had been assembled for our deportation. At the time, I couldn't understand what was happening to us, what we had done to be treated this way. To this day, I struggle to understand. I will never forget the face of the young soldier, General Mladic, who boarded our bus at a stop along the route, demanding that we hand over any valuables we might have. Gripped by a terror that I have never felt before or since, I offered him my only possession, a ragged doll. I held it out to him desperately, telling him repeatedly, "Take it. It's all that I have." I doubt that man remembers my doll, or me, or any of us that were on that bus. I can only hope that he feels remorse for his actions, that he regrets taking part in genocide. On July 13th, most of my family reached free territory. My brother Abdullah, however, did not. He was detained while attempting to leave the UN base with our sister. It is from her testimony that I will carve an image in my mind of the two of them looking at each other, not saying a word, knowing it's the last time they're together. And it was the last time. He was executed along thousands of other innocent men and boys and thrown into a mass grave. In 2008, less than half of his remains were uncovered, identified, and we buried him at Memorial Center Cemetery. Even after his reburial in 2022, when newly found bones were added to his grave, his remains are still incomplete. At the time of his death, my brother Abdullah was a slender boy of 18, with thick dark hair and brown eyes, full of ambitions and dreams. He had passion for martial arts and a deep commitment to his faith. He was intelligent, serene, and undoubtedly the kindest person I have ever known. He was the best of us, and I regret not telling him all that and how much I loved him. Losing him was like losing a part of myself, and his absence is a void that can never be filled. In the wake of his senselessness and brutal murder, all we have left of him as a family is a low-resolution video from April 1995, a set of prayer beads he made for our mother, for Eid that year, and of course, our memories, of which there are many. Surviving the genocide was a deeply scarring experience, but one which also filled me with a profound sense of purpose. I'm here today not to only share my story and the story of my family, but to be a voice of those who can no longer speak. It is our duty as survivors to ensure that the world remembers what happened in Srebrenica, to honor the memory of our brothers, fathers, uncles, and all the victims, and to advocate for a future where such atrocities do not occur. Today, I serve as a spokesperson at the Srebrenica Memorial Center, the only institution dedicated to the mission of preserving the memory of the victims of genocide, working alongside other amazing people, survivors who share this mission. Together, we strive to ensure that the victims are never forgotten and that our story is preserved for future generations. We're dedicated to preserving the truth about the genocide in Srebrenica, our effort to honor Srebrenica victims, as well as to stem the tide of genocide denial that seeks to negate our experiences. As I speak of my brother, I also remember the losses of my colleagues. My colleague Hazir's brother, killed at just 16, who was laid to rest just 2 years ago. Only his skull was recovered for burial. Hassan, another colleague, survived the death march that claimed the lives of his twin brother and his father. I remember Amr's father, Al-Medina's father, Shafiqa's father. One of my youngest colleagues mourns 2 young brothers she never had the chance to meet. There is not a single person working at the Memorial Center who has not been touched by the tragedy and loss of the Srebrenica genocide. For this reason, we will not be silenced. We will continue to inform, to educate, and share our experiences. To quote the director of the Srebrenica Memorial Center himself, a survivor of the genocide, "This is our story, and we alone will tell it in our own way to the best of our ability. This we will do for our children." 6,765 tombstones until today at the Memorial Cemetery say one sentence from the Holy Quran. Do not say for those who died on God's path that they are dead. They are alive, only you cannot feel it. They will live forever in our memory. This is a promise we make. The establishment of the International Day of Remembrance brings us one step closer to a future in which the past is remembered, peace is imperative, and justice prevails. It is a call to action for all of us to stand against hatred, to protect the vulnerable, and to promote understanding and the truth. In closing, I want to thank you once again for your support and for giving me the opportunity to speak today. Let us honor the memory of those we have lost by committing ourselves to a future of peace, justice, and dignity for all. Thank you.